Hello, beautiful people of the world. Welcome back to Cleopatra, where we talk about everything pretty girl logic. Now, we have to talk about envy. Envy is a killer, it is causing so many deaths, and I have had so many people lose their lives because of envy. The thing about envy is that it doesn't come just from strangers, it can be very close to home, it can literally be in your house. And envy is not limited to just strangers or friends. Even family can be envious of you. And as someone who really values my audience, I'm going to tell you about envy because it is such an under discussed concept. And I'm seeing that creators have started tackling the subject of envy more. But envy has so many nuances that need to be discussed. And I feel like one step at a time, we are going to save one life at a time. Okay? So the first way you can notice someone is envious of you is when they tell you you're too pretty for someone with your skin tone. Whatever does that mean? Help me understand. What do you mean I'm too pretty for my skin tone? Huh? Or someone tells you, wow, you always try to look good. When someone keeps trying to point out how much effort you put into your appearance, it just shows that they don't really see the essence of doing it and that you're a tryhard. And now, in light of all that, they are portraying subtle envy because they're framing admiration in a way that really undercuts you. Literally, like that compliment has a jab to it. And if you're not keen, you would think that is actually a compliment. But if a compliment leaves you confused more than it leaves you feeling good about yourself, that is a backhanded compliment. Because honestly speaking, I can never explain what the hell you're too pretty for someone with your skin tone means. I don't get it. So that's a very, very covert sign of envy. Another one is that they are very neutral about your wins. Whenever you share good news, they're going to have a dry response or an underwhelming response that makes you question whether or not everything is fine if you guys are still cool. And then they're going to shift that topic swiftly because your achievement is not worth discussing to them, because the more you discuss what you have been able to achieve and you try to celebrate it, you gain relevance to them. You seem more important. You seem like life is going well for you, that you are worth being celebrated. And people who envy you hate celebrating you. They would never want to see you being elevated or enjoy your success. They would never. So another sign of envy is that they make jokes about your look. They try to poke into your looks and they use humor. They can also use passive aggression. And this is supposed to humble you. An example that I have been told is that, with that face, honestly, I'd be careless as well. What the hell? What the hell? I simply went to her with a story about how I double booked a date because I was single and I had a roster and I was going out on dates. And I said yes to two dates from two different guys, 1 hour apart, and making it on time for the next date was going to be a bit hectic because of traffic. And I was calling my friend to tell her this because it was so funny. I never get things mixed up. I just didn't care enough to check my schedule because I already had someone I really, 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 really was invested in. And secondly, what does my face have to do with this? That was genuinely a very passive aggressive comment. Another comment I have come across, and I came across it on YouTube, was someone saying that once you grow old, you lose your pretty privilege. And I have to laugh because what do you mean that when I get old I'm going to lose my pretty privilege? What exactly is old to you? Threatening me that when I grow older I'm going to lose my pretty privilege, that is very absurd. And no one should ever make you think otherwise. You should not be scared of aging because when you're beautiful, you're going to age gracefully. Another one that I got, and this one really pissed me off, was when someone complimented me, but then they told me that my forehead is too big. First off, I am East African, FYI. I definitely have a forehead. Most people in East Africa have big foreheads. So I didn't really understand why he had to point out that I had a big forehead. Well, in return, I told him that he was balding. So he and I are just the same person, different timelines. And he let me go, and we've never had that conversation again. So sometimes when someone is joking about your looks, it's okay to retaliate because they're showing you that they are inconsiderate of your feelings, and you don't have to consider them back. If you can clap back, go ahead and clap back. Another way you can spot envy is when you feel that there is some competitive energy, but it's very subtle. You can sniff it, but you can't really put a finger on it. Yeah. So you find that someone wants to mimic your style or aesthetic, and then they try to one up it. And even if they mimic or copy your style, they never give you credit. They will never give you credit for that, because if they do, it means they are celebrating you, and envious people don't celebrate the subject of their envy. Someone who is envious of you would never celebrate you. And this is where you start to feel the admiration they had for you turning into resentment, turning into rivalry, turning into competition. Okay, another way to note envy is when they are observing you quietly and they don't support you. Whether you are launching a business, a YouTube channel, a TikTok, Instagram, anything, they will just observe, monitor you, and they won't support you. They will like the stories, they will like your posts, but they won't comment, they won't share it, and they will not uplift you whatsoever. They will simply monitor you, but they won't support. And that's why I never told anyone about my YouTube channel, because the last thing I want is someone sabotaging me in the long run, because I'm thinking long game. I wouldn't want someone who's envious of me throwing me under the bus because my channel is gaining traction, simply because they were watching me, they were not supporting me, and regardless of them withholding support, I still managed to succeed without them. Okay, and this is why I keep telling you guys, keep your plans to yourself. Some things are not meant to be shared. Another way is that they are going to try to humble you in conversations. They will always remind you that there's someone hotter than you. They will always remind you that your looks will disappear. They're always trying to remind you to be humble and not really enjoy your privilege or your beauty. Clearly, this shows that they are very uncomfortable with your confidence and they want you to tone it down a bit. They want you to play small so that they can feel comfortable with themselves. They'll also go out of their way to praise your personality and simply, sideline your beauty or your looks. They're going to be like, it's so nice. I didn't expect that from someone like you. And that's where it rings in my head. What do you mean, someone like you? You simply thought that me being attractive means I am a stuck up bimbo and snobby. Oh, wow. One line that still strikes me to this day was when this person told me, wow, you're not just beautiful, you're also smart. Like, wow, you're very intelligent. Mind you, I was doing my bachelor's degree in a STEM course, and on top of that, I was fully sponsored by the government. So, in my country, if you are an exceptional academic performer, you get full scholarship in university. So, what do you mean? Wow, you're not just beautiful, you're also intelligent. How do you think I got here? That was genuinely a very odd thing to say. And I know it sounds sweet and genuine, but there is a bias being exposed. The fact that they do not believe that beauty and depth or intelligence can coexist in one person. They think they are mutually exclusive. And that means that they think you're either pretty or you're smart. Have you ever noticed that whenever you talk about your struggles, they try so much to invalidate your experiences? This is because they assume your beauty protects you from a lot in life. They assume your beauty protects you from the tragedies of life. When you tell them that you have gone through a negative experience, they'll simply tell you, you know, you don't get to complain, you're pretty, or they'll constantly try to remind you how easy you have it because you are beautiful. You're going to have your experiences invalidated, and that's why I am in full favor of the Pretty Girl Club coming on YouTube and sharing the Pretty Girl experience, because we can't all be lying. We're all going through similar things and we have similar grievances. So we are not giving people room to invalidate our experiences. We are taking up space and talking about our experiences. And allow me to point out the fact that envy isn't always mean. Sometimes it's simply silent discomfort with your essence, your glow, your charm, your light. There are so many things. So note that the real ones will admire, support, and they will not compete with you. Because pretty recognizes pretty, and power doesn't fear power. Instead of a pretty person dragging another pretty person down, they hold hands in support and collaboration of each other. They see each other, they acknowledge each other, they empower each other, they work together. So, what has been your experience as a pretty girl and envious people? And on top of that, feel free to share your experiences down below in the comment section. And if you have a story time, feel free to send it on my email at cleopatrick333@gmail.com. And I might definitely share it with my audience so that we can validate your experience. So stay hot, stay fabulous, stay Cleopatrick.